Hello, beautiful people. Let's talk about lupus. Taking a breath. I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time, and there was something inside of me that thought that it needed to be perfect, or thought that I needed to be healed in order to translate this message. And the reason why I want to talk about lupus is because there's so many people out in the world that are experiencing autoimmune and nervous system disease, dis-ease. And I being one of those people. And there's just so much that I feel like is being uncovered about autoimmune disease, and so much that I didn't know when I was diagnosed back in 2020. And my symptoms kind of started to happen at the end of 2018 into 2019. And I just really want to voice not only my experience, but what I've learned so far in regards to natural healing. So when I was first diagnosed in 2020, I was going through the medical merry-go-round. There was a lot of things that I was doing that maybe wasn't serving me. And yeah, I'll go into that. I think I just want to go straight into a disclaimer saying that what I have to say in this video is not to replace any medical advice or a medical routine that you're currently going through. I know that when I was once on medicine that was prescribed by doctors, pills, they served me in that moment, in those transitional times where once I had a name for what I had, it gave me all the power to then choose to do what I wanted with that. And there was just something that didn't feel right when I would go into doctor's offices and I would sit there at 28 years young, and all of the other patients were 50 plus years older than me, and something didn't seem quite right about that. And there is something that's happening that's bigger than us. There are names for that. And whatever association you have with that, whether you do or not, there's something that is happening in relation to a lot of younger people who are getting nervous system dis-ease and dysfunction. And from working in holistic healthcare for over 10 years, I have learned that symptoms don't just show up when sickness starts. Sickness begins over here, and then about 50, 60, 70% along the way of however long this sickness has been held inside of the body, or this dysfunction, this disease, that is when symptoms start. The sickness was already there. And in today's society, even though it is evolving, I'll speak to that, there are still practices that just fight symptoms and not fighting or helping or to heal the root cause of the issue. And I came to find throughout these last 3 or 4 years of having autoimmune dysfunction that a lot of my dysfunction stemmed from living in a fight or flight pattern ever since I was very young. And it's almost like holding a cup of water that's full. If you were to hold this cup of water for 30 seconds, it wouldn't do much. If you were to hold it for a few minutes, it wouldn't be too annoying. If you were to hold this cup of water for a few hours, it would start to maybe hurt your arm a little bit, might be a little sore. If you were to hold this cup of water for days at a time, weeks at a time, months at a time, years at a time, that will eventually cause your arm to have serious issues. I think about this the same way as trauma and holding on to experiences and things where in my experience, I wasn't taught to process certain things, wasn't taught how to voice my emotions. Sometimes even my emotions were in a way muffled out of the chaos of a big family, and also the chaos of a lot of different things that were going on in my family, a lot of traumatic events. So my body's natural response was to try and protect me. So my body, in a sense, went into fight or flight mode. And just like any animal does, they'll go into fight or flight. And here's this neutral. And then they'll go back down when they don't feel the threat anymore. But what happens when a lot of different traumatic events occur for a human, they also have this natural response of fight or flight. And if there's no way of going back to neutral, they'll just stay in this fight or flight. And that is what I was doing for so long. And sometimes this fight or flight response may be dissociating, maybe leaving the body. There are many different things that happen when a human goes into fight or flight. And after a while, the body begins to try to protect itself. And that can look like arthritis, joint pain, skin rashes. It really shows up in each human differently, just as our experiences are different. And I also felt that due to having these traumatic experiences, not only in combination with certain foods and toxins, chemicals, and dyes that I was ingesting through food, and using toxic products for hygiene care and things like that, it was also the situations that I was putting myself in, because I was so used to this trauma pattern and this trauma loop and this victim triangle. And after so long, it was really difficult for me to live in my full authentic expression. And I say that because I'm voicing this for anyone out there that is struggling right now or has struggled with expressing themselves authentically. And what I mean by this is, when I was growing up, when something traumatic was happening or parents were fighting or whatever it was, my natural safety response was to try to bring things back to equilibrium. And in order to do that, I tried everything to make everyone else happy and not myself. So after a while, I forgot what it was like to make myself happy. I forgot how to ask myself what I needed in order to survive. And after a while, that moved into my adolescence and my adulthood. And I was in relationships and situations and friendships, and even jobs that were not serving me. And I kept thinking, why are all these bad things happening to me? And all of that. And after a while, especially after being diagnosed with lupus, I was continuing to face those things now with doctors, and doctors were telling me, you're going to have this forever. You're going to have these symptoms forever. You're going to be on this medication forever. And after a while, I just refused to accept that, because I was slowly deteriorating, and even faster, with these medications. And as much as there were times where initially the medication was serving me, I was initially hospitalized for mental health in 2017, 3 years prior to my lupus diagnosis. And I've found over the past few years of energy healing and natural healing that the mind and the body are very much connected. And if there is turbulence in the mind, then it will eventually be physically manifested into the body. And the expressions that are going on, or the inability to bring the inner expression to the outer, is something that is a non-natural occurrence. And just as we breathe air in and it's naturally recycled and allows the air, the oxygen that we breathe in, to then come out and give carbon dioxide to the environment, something that naturally happens, it's almost as if we're innately, naturally being asked to bring our inner expression to the outer. And if someone isn't able to do that, if someone isn't able to grow and shed and evolve as humans naturally do, as natural as our hair sheds, as natural as our skin sheds, as natural as a snake skin or scorpion skin sheds, we all have these natural evolutions of shedding. And if someone isn't able to develop and grow in ways that they're naturally supposed to, then some of these things can happen. For me, I started to experience Raynaud syndrome when the fingers get white and purple. I'll go ahead and touch on light body symptoms because this is something that helped bring voice to my experience. This is from newlightbody.org. Your nervous system is one of the most miraculous creations imaginable in creation. From the highest reaches of the spiritual planes, your soul essence is translated into physical form, mainly through the nervous and endocrine systems of the body. Spiritual light has several distinct effects on these systems of the body. As the frequency of light increases, the cells, atoms, and molecules within these systems are accelerated and refined. There is a massive ascension going on planet Earth, and the frequency of the Earth is raising. And as that happens, whether people are conscious of it or not, a lot of what is going on is this natural ascension and raise in frequency of Mother Earth, planet Earth. It's going to affect all living creatures and beings on planet Earth. And this started to happen with me in 2020. If there's almost like this natural homeostasis that wants to happen. Our body, whenever we get a cut, we don't think about the cut healing. It just heals. It just does it. For most people. And when autoimmune dysfunction begins, sometimes that healing is a little bit lowered or a little slow. When this natural homeostasis happens, which our bodies naturally do, the earth has the same homeostasis balance that we do, is that once this frequency starts to raise, all the beings on planet Earth are going to begin to be affected. So if there's something that's out of balance, the body is going to begin to respond back. And a lot of these symptoms are what's called light body symptoms that people are experiencing right now. And a lot of people are experiencing inflammation, and that's because that's the body's natural safety response to fried foods, chemicals, stressful jobs, stressful situations, stressful relationships, trauma in the body. These areas of blockage may be physically, emotionally, or energetically based. Some areas of the body, mind, and spirit may have accumulated injury or trauma, either in the present lifetime or even during other incarnations. And we are all energy. If you walk into a room and there's a lot of people that are upset and you're an empath, or you're someone who can feel heavily into other people's energy or their attitude or their energy, it's even taking me some time to try to not absorb that and more observe it. Sometimes even absorbing other people's energy is something that can cause some of these symptoms. So what happened to me in 2020 is I developed shingles, and with shingles, it was in the area of my lower right abdomen, and I came to find out throughout my healing journey that this is the solar plexus chakra. And this chakra has a lot to do with self-confidence, self-love, one's authority, one's power. And that was something that I hadn't had for quite some time because I was so used to pleasing other people. And I even began to, when I started to say no to doctors, started to wean myself off of medication because I knew that I was slowly dying from it. I lost 60 pounds in less than 3 months, and you could tell that I was withering away. I eventually started to eat things that my body needed, and it started with shingles. Like, my shingles would not go away had I not changed the way that I ate. And it didn't become a diet, it was a lifestyle change. And all of that began, and slowly but surely I weaned myself off of all psychological medication, psychiatric medication, and weaned myself all of my lupus meds. And my personal power was growing at that point. Telling a doctor, like, I don't think this is right for me, and listening to my body. And as I started to do that, I learned how to be more forgiving and gentle with myself along the way. And yeah, there were so many different things that I began to learn about my personal power, and that this was like the key to my healing. And I began to realize that my innate expression was not being brought to the outer. And the more I do it, the easier it gets. But initially, it's going to feel foreign if you haven't done it in so long. I went back and healed a lot of parts of my inner child. So many different things. So I just want to say that it takes time. And I'm here to put voice to all the autoimmune warriors out there that are going through chronic pain. There was a time in my life where I couldn't get dressed without crying. I couldn't take a shower without having my feet be in extreme amounts of pain. I couldn't get in and out of the car without wincing in pain. My feet were 3 times the size that they were due to all the inflammation that I was experiencing. And I was looking at life through the lens of fear, and that slowly but surely began to fade. And I'm still even working through moving even despite fear, voicing who I am and what I have to say, and living life despite fear. Sitting in the middle of a field in a public park despite fear, and recognizing what relationships, what situations, what areas of my life were contributing to this pattern, and being forgiving and recognizing that as I change, other people may change with me, and some people may go too, and it's all just a part of that journey. There's a lot of different things that I began to do. Not only did I begin to listen to my body when it came to eating differently, looking up anti-inflammatory foods, looking up what was going to hurt and make worse my inflammation, that being alcohol, fried foods, all sorts of different things. And it may even look different for you. And you may even reintroduce foods back into your life after a period of time of healing. I started to remove toxins and chemicals from the products that I used in my deodorant, using fluoride-free toothpaste, aluminum-free deodorant, noticing what was in my face wash, my lotion, using essential oils instead of perfumes, listening to high frequency music, and I began to do Kundalini yoga, and that was a game changer for me. It not only did it help my joints because it was a low impact exercise of stretching and building my core and my muscles, it also did so much more for me than I could have ever imagined. It helped align my mind and my body, and for quite some time, I was not living in my body and I wasn't even aware of it. After 25 plus years of living out of my body in a fight or flight response, I came back into my body back in 2022 after doing about 4 or 5 months of Kundalini yoga. And this is yoga that moves through the chakra systems, or the energy centers of the body, starting at the root and working all the way up to the crown. And this was something that changed my life forever. It changed my life. And I just want to say that you're not alone. I want to say that your healing journey may look different than mine, and that I am also here to support you. Like this video if you resonate, comment below what your experiences are. I am also here and hold space for healing. So I am an intuitive celestial breathwork facilitator in training. I'm about to graduate, and I also am a Reiki healer. And yeah, I'm really here to hold space for your healing. And I say that I'm a healer. I also recognize that I'm here to hold space so that you can be the innate healer of your journey, of your experience, of your life. Body was created to innately heal itself, and it's something that I'm super passionate about, and I would love to hold space for you to not just put voice to your experience, but to also hold space in offering advice if you are looking for it, to share some of the things that I've done to help heal my inflammation, help with my Raynaud syndrome, help with a lot of the different autoimmune, a lot of the different autoimmune issues that were going on and that I'm still continuing to heal. Again, you're not alone. And initially, I thought that I had to heal the body, and there was so much more. Healing my mind was a part of it, and connecting my mind, body, and spirit. So I'm here to hold space. I offer one-on-one breathwork sessions, and I'm about to graduate, so I will be able to hold that space for you. Until then, feel free to book a free 30-minute consult. I'll link my link tree below. And if you would like, I also offer Reiki sessions that I am currently holding for one-on-ones, as well as full astrological readings. If you are an astrology nerd like I am, or you're curious about your birth chart, it has told me so much about my journey and has been a beautiful guiding roadmap that I am the navigator of. And I love to do the same for others, to give someone a roadmap to their natal birth chart, to allow them to be the navigator. And it shows so much. And thank you so much for just listening in. And to all my autoimmune warriors, you got this. You're enough. You're a survivor. And you're still here to this very day. You've survived all your bad days. There's a reason why you're here. Sending you all the love. Bye, y'all.